Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful Akim, teaching and preaching this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Sakawasap, and today's lesson is entitled, Cannibalism is the Fruit of Famine. And Lord willing, be edified through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, whom the world ignorantly calls Lord God and Jesus Christ, the Savior of the children of Israel. And as always, our lessons, our sit-downs, our street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel of the Most High, and to you as the gospel preach. Shalom. So today, we'll be going into cannibalism, which is one of the judgments that the Lord will be sending out, which He have sent out, and in different times in history. And shalom to the Akim and the Akwath on the comment board. Shabbat shalom. All right. And as I was mentioning, cannibalism, that's one of the judgments that the Lord has rendered unto the people and will render unto the people. Now, you will not find the word cannibalism in the Bible. All right. If you were to do, a search and type in cannibalism, it's not going to come up. And the reason why I'm going into this topic, which I have before, but it's always good to redo these lessons. It's a lot of talk of famine. All right. Food shortages, food insecurity. All right. And one of the weapons the elites use is food. So once they subtract food from the equation, all manner of iniquity, sin, and destruction is going to come, because you can withdraw gas. You can stop a person from going to the mall. You can terminate traveling and, flying on planes here and there. But once you take away food from the equation, that's a different story. So we have the word cannibalism here.
Cannibalism.
It says the practice of eating the flesh of one's own species. The film is quite disturbing at points with references to cannibalism. Then they have it over here, human cannibalism. Cannibalism is the fact or practice of humans eating the flesh or internal organs of other human beings. A person who practices cannibalism is called a cannibal. All right. So as I was mentioning earlier, this is one of the judgments that the Lord will be sending. We often speak about Jacob's trouble and Jacob's trouble, which it is said that in the prophecies, this is a time that have not been on the face of the earth. The Lord is going to be bringing out all types of judgment. So, let's get in. Let's get to it. This is Lamentations 4, verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. So it's going to be better for you to just be put to death by a gun, pistol, rifle, all right, versus dying of hunger. It says, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. So, if you die of hunger, you're going to lose a lot of weight. And we all saw on cartoons how if a person is thirsty or hungry, everybody looks like a T-bone steak. Everywhere it looks like a pond of water afar off. So what happens is when you're destitute of food, you start hallucinating. You understand? So with hallucinations, you start losing weight. It says the hands of a pitiful woman have sodden their own children. Now it says a pitiful woman. These are the women that have that spirit of, oh, I love my children, anything for my children. My babies is my life. Oh, them women, they're going to be boiling their children. Sodom means to boil. Now, I'll read this in another translation. This is the New King James Version. It says the hands of a compassionate woman. That's a woman that's so loving and, pretty much do anything, for her children. Have cooked their own children. They became food for them in the destruction of the daughter of my people. So all you women out there, that putting your children first, you understand, using your children as weapons against their fathers, have milked the system through your children, done all these different things. Guess what? If you ain't in this truth, the Lord gonna put a cold spirit on you. Once again, the hands of a pitiful woman, or a compassionate woman, or a loving woman, or a caring woman. Let's see what else they had there. A tender-hearted woman. That's pretty much all they have there. Um, have sodden, which sodden means to boil their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. So children is going to be your food, you know. And a lot of women, once they have children by men, and these be men that want to be in a child's life, want to be involved, who, want to have the whole family thing. Once they have a child, the father, he gets put on the back burner, you know, and everything, revolves around, my child is my everything. I live for my children. And there's a term called emotional incest. Emotional. A lot of women suffer from this and they don't even know it. Incest. Incest. Let me see. Is it in? Let's see. Incest. Oh, let me look. Let me get this term for y'all real quick. And let me see if I can do it like this. Incest. There we go. Emotional incest. Men and women suffer from this. What are symptoms of emotional incest? Symptoms demonstrated by adult survivors of emotional incest include frequent guilt. Okay, this is the fruit of that, but I want to get the actual term. It says convert incest or emotional incest. There we go. Occurs when a parent or caregiver relies on the child for the support that an adult partner would usually provide. Women suffer from this the most. They look at their sons and they treat their sons as if they are their husbands or their boyfriends to in efforts to fulfill that void that their father would have given them. You understand? It says they may also treat the child like a romantic partner. You know, covert incest is different from physical incest because it doesn't involve sexual abuse. So they don't physically have sex with their children, but what they do is they will treat their children like it's like that's their man, you know? So, women that, got this type of energy, they're gonna be eating them damn kids, man. You know? Oh, my son is everything. He the man of the house. And my son, this, my son. Now I got an auntie that's like that. Her son is like 27 years old, still ain't left the house. And that damages the child. And we was reading here, it says, what are the symptoms of emotional incest? So these are the things to look for in a person that has suffering from emotional incest. Symptoms demonstrating by adult survivors of emotional incest include frequent guilt. Man, I don't want to leave moms. Oh, I can't leave moms, man. And you a man, you supposed to eventually lead a nest, start your own family, and do your own thing and cleave into your own wife. You understand? Low self-esteem, you know. These are mama's boys. Mama is everything. My mama, my mama, my mama. That person may be suffering from um, emotional incest, overperforming in relationships, doing too damn much because that's how their mom was to them. Rescuing their loved ones from emotional turmoil, difficulties, setting boundaries, difficulty. Yeah, because a parent is supposed to set boundaries. When coming up, we all hated strict parents, but really that was the best option for you to have is a strict parent because a strict parent is setting boundaries, right? It's a difficulty advocating for themselves, don't stand up for themselves. Their mom did everything, you know, and difficulty identify a sense of self outside, blah, blah, blah. Bros can look it up. But going back to Lamentations 4 and 10, it says the hands of a pitiful woman, a loving, tender-hearted, caring woman have sought in their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. That's cannibalism, right? So let's go here to Isaiah. Um, this is Isaiah. That started 18 and built up the vibration. Isaiah 9 and 18. For wickedness burneth as the fire, it shall devour the briars and the thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest. They shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. It is going into the second death, which is by fire. For it says, through the wrath of Yahweh of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. It's gonna get cold out here, man. All right, Lord Yahweh Shai said in Matthew the 24th chapter, nation against nation. All right, which when you go into that word nation is ethnos, which is where you get the word ethnicity from. You're gonna have nation of people going against each other, neighbors going against each other. So the water Yahweh Bashim Yahweh for the brotherhood, verse 20, and he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. This is going into cannibalism. Let's read in another translation, which we do read other translations because it further gives detailed information on what's being said. But you gotta, the blue letter do go off, so you gotta rightly divide the word in truth, meaning you gotta eat the meat, spit out the bones. NLT, New Living Translation, they will attack their neighbor on the right, but will still be hungry. They will devour their neighbor on the left, but will not be satisfied. In the end, they will even eat their own children. It's going to get crazy out here. Manasseh, Ephraim, Manasseh, they together shall be against Judah. That's the tribal hatred that the Lord is lifting up for the elect. All right. For all this is his anger is turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. So the Lord still got that mercy out right now, but the doors of mercy is slowly closing. And if you ain't repented and converted and worship the true power and calling on the names and sincerity and truth, you're going to be individuals that's going to get caught out here. This is Ezekiel 5. Let's see. Start at 7. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, because ye multiply more than the nations that are round about you and have not walked in my statutes, neither have kept my judgments, neither have done according to the judgments of the nation that are around about you. It's basically going to, Jake being rebellious. You ain't walking in the statutes that the Lord has made for us. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and I will execute judgments in the midst of thee in the sight of the nations. And I will do in thee that which I have not done, whereunto I will not do any more the like because of thine abominations. So here, Ezekiel was a Levite, a captive that went into the Babylonian captivity. He was a prophet, and the Lord, raised him up to, prophesying to the people. Now, this happened, before, but as it is written in Ecclesiastes 1:9, that which have been is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So when judgment come, expect all this type of stuff to be done, but worse. It says here, whereunto I will not do any more the like. So the Lord may not do it exactly how he did here, but the time to come is going to be worse than he did there. It says, verse 10, here's the point. Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers. And I will execute judgments in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into the winds. Jake was scattered, and Jake was getting eaten. NLT, New Living Translations, parents will eat their own children, and children will eat their parents. I will punish you and scatter to the winds the few who survive. It's going to be survival of the fittest out here. Let's go to the Apocrypha real quick. Okay, King James online. All right. Second Esdras. And going back to the title, cannibalism, which we went into that word, is the fruit of famine. Second Esdras 15. Mm. Slack it. Let me find this precept real quick. Second Esdras 15, verse 57. Thy children shall die of hunger, famine, and thou shalt fall through the sword. You know, racial riots, Esau coming down with great wrath. Thy city shall be broken down. You know, no transportation, no cell towers. You know, grocery stores is empty. You know, checkpoints, freeways is shut off, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. People gonna be getting put to death. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, because you're gonna have people. Oh, let's go to the mountains. The city too hot. We gotta go to the rural areas. You know, I got 6 months of food prepper kits. You know, we just gonna take this and go to the mountains. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger. They're gonna end up eating all that food, or that food gonna end up getting spoiled somehow. It says, and eat their own flesh. They're gonna start turning on each other, eating each other. And we've seen this in these different post-apocalyptic movies and these zombie movies. In fact, a lot of those, movies is written and directed by so-called the small hats, and they get their inspiration from the scripts. You understand? It says, and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood. You'll be so thirsty, they're gonna be drinking their own blood. And there was some celebrities that just came out saying that they drink each other blood for ritual purposes, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. So when it's a famine, people is gonna be resorting to eating their own flesh. You know, their children. You know, hey, he's getting sick. You know, he's not feeling good. You know, grandpa. You know, he's already old. You know, we might as well just go ahead and take his life and eat him. You know, so that way we can survive. You know, people's gonna get real um desperate. All right. But let's see. Yeah, I got all the precepts. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, cannibalism is the fruit of famine, and the Lord is coming with it, man. And let me provide some balance real quick. You know, when all hell breaking loose and all these different sad perils is coming to pass, in a minute the Lord is gonna be in a safe case. All right. Let's get this in Second Esdras 2 and 27. It's always good to provide the balance in a lesson, because a false balance is an abomination. Proverbs 11 and 1. This is Second Esdras chapter 2, verse 27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, Jacob's trouble, right? Others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have an abundance. So while everybody else is ashed out, figuring out who they're going to eat next, the men of the Lord willing, we endure to the end, and we are of that fold, we're going to have an abundance. We're going to be well taken care of, and we're going to be rejoicing. The heathen shall envy thee. All right. It's talking about Jakes. But they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. So Jakes and these actual heathens, they're going to be envious of us. Why? Because we're going to have what's called a hedge of protection. We're going to have what Job had before Satan got loose on him. This is Psalm 34, verse 7. The angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So the Lord is going to be, enabling the hedge of protection around the men of the Lord. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in that fiery furnace that Nebuchadnezzar had set ablaze. They had a hedge of protection or a force field around them, and Yahweh Shai was right in the midst of them. Let's continue on over here. In 2 Esdras 2 and 29, my hands shall cover thee. These are the angels. So that thy children shall not see hell. Hell is a low condition. So wherever our children are, because we may not be immediately with our children. You understand? Children may be afar off somewhere else, but the Lord will enable that protection for our children. Be joyful, O thou mother. This represents Israel, and thy children, Israel. For I will deliver thee, saith the Lord. So, Lord is going to deliver us, and we got to have faith in that. This is Job 5:20. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in the war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Esau sending out orders and commands. Go get them Israelites. Run, go get them. They over here. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid at destruction when it cometh. Because, Lord willing, we'll have the faith to believe that we'll be delivered from destruction. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. You know, we're going to be laughing at everybody else that's suffering and mourning and going through sorrows. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. You know, because scriptures speak about teeth of wild beasts punishing the wicked. You understand? The Lord going to be putting a cold spirit on these animals. But thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field. The Lord going to give us power. We're going to be able to be like air benders, earth benders, you know, controlling the elements. And the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Yeah, be at peace with us, but terrible to those who are without. So we're going to leave it at that. And Lord willing, you know, you're edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. And double honor to our elders and apostles, great millstone. This has been Cannibalism is the fruit of famine. Shalom, Akim.